Okay then folks, today we're going to be revising Module 2 of the Gateway Science.
A personalised curriculum will only benefit students if teachers know each child's strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, so we prioritise these according to your self-assessments.
A couple of years ago, science teacher Mark Allen re-examined the methods used to gauge individual understanding in class. Teachers weren't getting a clear enough picture of how each student was doing. Mark and his colleagues developed a computer program enabling students to assess their own understanding.
Students which are green will support students which are amber and red. Okay? Talk them through the learning objectives using the resources on DPAFL and those in front of you. The system DPAFL, what it stands for is for Digitally Enhanced Evaluation and Planning. And it was born really from a re-evaluation of the relationship between teaching and learning and assessment for learning. We realised that traditional assessment for learning techniques were pretty much inefficient in that not every child or every student will actually get involved. They'd be left out of the process in some way, shape or form. So for example, traditional question and answering techniques at the start or at the end of a lesson, not every student either chooses to get involved in that process or just naturally doesn't become involved. And so that little bit of feedback doesn't make it to the teacher. So the bottom line is that using last lesson's assessments for next lesson's planning was not really that possible, but it has become possible with DPAFL.
This is my self-assessment. This is for Module 2 of Physics, and it lists all the topics in Module 2. So you've got all the topics down the left-hand side here, and then here is how I feel about these topics. And I can change that every time I go onto it, so I can update it when I've got better at something or if I don't understand something. And I select my level, either I can do it, I can't do it, or I think I can, I'm not sure. And then once I've updated my progress, it goes onto the system. And then if I'm a red and I don't understand it, I can check and press check. And it will show me who in the class does understand it, so that I can ask them if I get stuck and they can show me how to do it because they've already got it on green. And then if I can't speak to a classmate, I can click on the topic and it'll take me to a hyperlink to go onto a website or an activity, which will show me how to do it and teach me the work that I don't understand.
From a teacher's point of view, on the teacher's console, it's possible to prioritise your learning objectives about what it is that you're going to teach next lesson. So lessons are not necessarily any longer a lesson-by-lesson scenario whereby a teacher is forced to actually follow a scheme of work. It's now become one which is more driven by the needs of students. And that's the powerful thing about it, is we're trying to encourage them to actually fill the knowledge gaps for themselves by using the DPAFL system, and at the same time communicate their needs to the teacher, which will allow us to prioritise what we do in a classroom.
Okay, I'm going to check.
The system presents students with different ways to fill their knowledge gaps, giving them more responsibility for their own learning.
My good friend Sarah should be able to explain it to me. Let's go and find it. Yeah. How do scientists detect comets, like using their redshift or something like that? I don't really understand it. Could you help me?
I think they use satellites and stuff.
Satellites, yeah.
If we're looking at what one?
35.
When a planet is further away from Earth, I think it goes into the redshift, so you can, and that's like when it starts.
So is the redshift the infrared wave?
Yes.
So they produce like electromagnetic waves, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then.
And is that why it's called redshift? Because it's infrared waves, yeah?
Yeah. And then you can see that they've moved further away from the Big Bang when they expanded from the Big Bang, and they're still expanding now.
The universe is still expanding now. Okay, I understand.
We're actually trying to develop the ability to self-assess. That self-awareness of what you do know or what you don't know is actually quite a mature characteristic. And the ability to self-evaluate is one that we're really trying to encourage. It actually ties in quite nicely with the work that we're doing in Year 7 with the competency curriculum. So it's by choice that we've actually chosen to use self-evaluation as opposed to another online test.
Well, it was first set up at the start of Year 10 in September, and we were told about it by Mr. Allen, but we didn't really know what it was, did we? But then, because of the interactive whiteboards, you could brought it up on the screen and like went through it on the screen so we could understand it. And first of all, we didn't really use it very much.
No, but we do it for our chemistry and biology as well.
Yeah, for all our science and stuff. And now, because we start to understand it now, we use it more. And now Mr. Allen uses it for like revision classes so that he knows what to prioritise and stuff. So it's really like useful to us for our exams.
It feels like better having your friends explain it to you, I reckon, because it's like different instead of like sitting in a class and having the teacher stand at the front and explain it to you. And you can use the computers as well. It's just a better system, I reckon.
Year 10, listen please, can you log off the computers? Next time what I would like you to do is to, well, for next time, I want you to update your self-assessments for Module 4, okay, which are actually on DPAFL now. So go home, update the self-assessments, okay, and then this will inform me of what I need to teach next lesson, okay, or what to prioritise. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Okay, off you go.